Welcome dear students. In today's lecture we are going to learn about quadratic equations. Now what are quadratic equations and how they are used? So quadratic equations are basically the equations which have general form of ax square plus bx plus c. So any polynomial has a general form which represented how the equation will look like. Like I'll say a linear equation will look like ax plus b is equal to 0, or ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, or ax plus by plus cz plus d is equal to 0. So this is a linear equation in one variable, two variable, or three variable. So this is a quadratic equation. Now what differentiates a quadratic from linear and a cubic is the degree, right? Now what is a degree? Degree is the highest power of the variable. It is the highest power of the variable. So if I write it as x raised to the power 3 plus y raised to the power 5, z raised to the power 10 and 10 raised to the power 15. So the degree of this equation should be 10. It will not be 15, though it is the highest number among all these exponents, but it is of a constant and not a variable. So there are three variables, that is x, y and z. So z has the highest value, that is 10, so degree comes out to be 10. So in this case, this is a constant, so we'll write it as degree as 0. This is a linear, we'll write it as degree as 1. And since this is a square, so we'll write the degree of any quadratic equation is of the form of 2. So that is the highest part. Now this also gives me the number of roots or number of zeros it has. So these are two that are named as alpha and beta. Now there are different ways to solve this. The first way is factorization, in which we use middle term splitting. The second was completing the square. Why I used was because it has been removed from the syllabus from 2019-2020 session. And the direct formula, that is also known as Sridharacharya's method. Mostly students, when they see it for the very first time in the examination hall, they don't know what method it is. So it is basically the direct formula you use. There is just an alternate name for that. Right. So we'll proceed it one by one. So quadratic equation having a general form of ax square plus bx plus c, degree being 2, that is the highest power, number of roots will be 2, alpha and beta, and we will solve it accordingly. Now let's see how you are going to solve the questions. So first of all, we'll use the method of factorization, that is also known as middle term splitting. So you will split the middle term. Right. So let's say ax square plus bx plus c. This is a general equation. You have to find two numbers such that their product is equal to AC and their sum, two numbers such that their sum represent B. You can also write x square over here and you can also write x over here. Now what does this thing mean? We'll explain it with the example. Let's say the equation is x square plus 7x plus 12. Now I'll write down the a, since I'll compare it with ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So a should be 1, b should be 7 and c should be 12. Right. Now I need two numbers whose product is a into c, that is 12, and whose sum should be 7. Right. So now let's find out. If I take 3 and 4 as factors, so this will solve it out. 3x square plus 4x plus 12. So what I am doing is I am just rewriting this 7x as 3x plus 4x. Now you'll look at these numbers 3 and 4. 3 plus 4 gives me 7 and 3 into 4 gives me 12. Thus it solves the purpose that these are the two numbers whose sum is equal to b and whose product is equal to AC. So now we'll solve it. This will be x plus 3, will take x common from here, will take 4 common from here, this will be again x plus 3. Now this is very important step. If at any test or examination, if these two brackets are not same, it means you might have committed a mistake. So x plus 4 and x plus 3, which is equal to 0. Right. So initially these are known as factors. So these will be factors. So you can say x plus 4 and x plus 3 are factors of x square plus 7x plus 12. But then how does the factors vary from 0 or roots? So if you equate the factors to 0, these becomes root. Now what happens over there is, it says product of these two things, because this is a multiply, so product of these two numbers is 0. So when does a product of two numbers become 0? If either of them is 0, so it is 5 into 0 is 0, or 0 into 7 is 0, or 0 into 0 is 0. I don't know which of the following number is 0. So what I am going to do is, since the product is equal to 0, I will equate them differently. X plus 3 and x plus 4 is equal to 0. So x comes out to be minus 4 and x comes out to be minus 3. Right. So this is how you are going to solve a quadratic equation by the method of completing the square, the method of middle term splitting or factorization. Now let's take one or more example and see. Quadratic equations also find their application in word problems and also in some of the competitive examinations, right? So whenever it will be used in competitive examinations, you can directly use the formula and find out the roots. So let's take one more example, that is 3x square minus x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now I need two numbers whose product is minus 12 and sum is minus 1. So I'll write it again, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. A comes out to be 3, b comes out to be minus 1, c comes out to be minus 4. So the product AC should be minus 12 and the sum has to be minus 1. So I have to find out two numbers whose sum and product is this. Again, if I see 3 and 4 will be the numbers as, if I add minus 4 plus 3, the result is minus 1, and minus 4 into plus 3, the result is minus 12. So I'll rewrite it as 3x square minus 4x plus x plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. So now 3 will take x common from here, this is 3x minus 4, and 1 common from here, this will be again 3x minus 4. So this is x plus 1 or this is 3x minus 4. Now we can also rewrite it as 3x square plus 3x minus 4x minus 4 is equal to 0, because there are some students who find it to be very difficult. So the idea is just to make it simple for those students also. So let's take 3x common from here, this will be x plus 1, and let's take 4 common here, this is again x plus 1. So you will notice that in both the cases the brackets are same, it means the corrections are not required. So we are going on a very correct path. 3x minus 4 and x plus 1. So again the roots are same, so whatever method you choose after this step, so the result is always the same. Now since again these two factors are equal to 0, so I will write it as either x plus 1 is equal to 0 or 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. So x is equal to minus 1 or x is equal to 4 by 3. So two factors of this equation will be these two values, right? Now let's see if we can do the same questions by the formula. Now what does the formula says? Formula says if the equation is ax square plus bx plus c, ax square plus bx plus c, the formula is minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So again we'll write it as x square plus 7x plus 12 is equal to 0. So minus 7 plus minus 7 square minus 4 into 1 into 12 divided by 2 into a is 1. So minus 7 plus minus, this will be 49 minus 48 by 2. So minus 7 plus minus 1 divided by 2, because this will be 1 and root 1 is 1. So y plus minus, 1 is for the alpha and the other one is for beta. So alpha will be minus 7 plus 1 by 2 and beta will be minus 7 minus 1 by 2. This will be minus 6 by 2, this will be minus 8 by 2, and the factors are again minus 3 and minus 4. Right. Why I have taken the same example? So that you can verify that by the method of middle term splitting and the method of completing the square, the roots are same, that is minus 3 and minus 4. Right. And then I hope you have understood it. Thanks.